doing the dance, doing the quarantine dance, doing the dance, doing the quarantine dance, doing the dance. All right. Hey, welcome to week's end. What's going on, buddy?
Hey, I don't know if you noticed, but I got a new mask.
Oh my God, I love it. It's fantastic. Look at that. Dun, 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 dun.
I also, there's a new rule that's going to go into effect. It's a new rule that's going to go into effect this evening, I think, in North Carolina statewide, where we're going to have to wear masks with a few
Good, that's
exceptions
smart.
all the time. But
Good. Glad to hear it.
I also have a backup mask.
Dude, please go to the grocery store wearing that and get footage.
I
I'm
know,
dying.
right?
Well, you know what would be funny? If you did that and you wore that to the grocery store, what would be funny would be to monitor Twitter to see how long it takes for somebody else's photo of you to appear, because you know it would appear.
Right.
Oh my God, dude, you're
Well, there's
too
also
cool.
some sort of scanning device here. I'm not sure if that's going to help me in that scenario or not, but
Well, it could.
But I'm ready. I want to give a shout out. My wife has been doing a great job. We haven't really
I
talked
have one
about
of her masks. They're great masks.
but she early on was making a lot of masks for first responders and some other organizations that needed them here in North Carolina. So she nerded out with me.
Nice.
So let's get into today's show.
I'll tell you what. When we're done,
Yeah.
our photo capture for this week will be us with our masks
That's a good
on.
idea. That's a great
Yep,
idea.
that'll be our photo capture.
So one of the things that I think I wanted to just give a quick mention to is last weekend, of course, was June 21st, the summer solstice. And one of the neat things that I liked, that I sort of took a moment of zen with to decompress after everything, was they live streamed the summer solstice sunset and sunrise over Stonehenge live this year because they couldn't have people come out and see it in person.
That's awesome. And you know, they also live tweeted that the gate to the eighth dimension was temporarily open and a lot of people went. So
right.
Yeah. No, that's science. That's true. That's science.
Yeah.
That's fact. That's what it's there for. I mean, everybody
knows.
If
I would have known that, I mean,
but the unfortunate part is when you cross through the gate and you get to the eighth dimension, what you find out is it's just a Walmart in like the suburbs of Chicago. So it's not really that great.
All right. Well, I know lots of people are struggling with work at home still. # work from home life. You and I are, we've talked about this quite a bit, but this was really interesting. Tell us about your cartoon post on LinkedIn this week.
So I found this cartoon from David Cypress at the New Yorker on Twitter, and I shared it on LinkedIn. I mean, I find that there are these certain peak times during the week, especially right around 4 p.m. on a Thursday. But this was shared, I don't know, a couple of days ago, where I've just had it, man, and it just becomes too much. But I also find like I wake up in the morning and I'm immediately working, and I'm working later, and I'm doing more work, and I'm working all the time. And so this notion of like, do I work at home or live at work? I really started to feel that way. So I put this out there, just like, whatever, dude. I mean, 90% of the stuff I share on anywhere gets, 1 or 2 likes. This thing is up to 108,515 views with 1,445 reactions and 47 comments. And look, this isn't a humble brag. It ain't about me. My point isn't, oh my God, my post did well. My point is there's a lot of people who feel this way.
Sure.
And I think we all need to focus on the balance and realize that, like I said, the struggle really is real, and let's make sure that we're keeping an eye on that. So this thing is only going up in its views, and what it's saying to me is there's a lot of people out there, and just, I don't know, here's a hug for all of you. I'm sorry, it's okay. Here we go, big hug.
So I couldn't agree more, and I had a similar reaction to a post that I had done a few days prior to this one, where I had shared a TED Talk that one of our executives had done that I'd never seen before. That was from years ago, that talked about emotional tone when you're communicating. And I think it is also more relevant than ever in this environment, right? Yeah. So it's really amazing to see the reaction. And I think it also illustrates, your post with the cartoon from the New Yorker illustrates a sentiment that I've seen mentioned many times outside of this cartoon, which is work from home seems like an antiquated notion at this point, because the new normal may not be temporary, right? And that may be a good thing too. So we'll see. Really interesting.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Let's talk about something that we both love so much, which is retro gaming.
Oh yeah.
Tell me, this is looks like a NASA board game.
Yeah.
But
so I just found this today. Apparently, it's going to be released next month. I think it's being done through Kickstarter, although there was a link to a Facebook post that talks about it. I don't use Facebook, but when I tried to click through to the link, I got a 404. It didn't work. So I don't know what the deal is.
I just want to marvel.
Check this thing out. Yeah.
At the game itself, because
the sliders and the computer, and I don't even really know what you do in this game. I just know that A, they are go to take my money, and B, I desperately want this game, if nothing, just other than how it looks. But to be able to play out a moon mission just sounds like so much fun. And I'll get some astronaut ice cream and play it with my sons, and we'll have a blast.
Well, I see that over the moon, it says moon mission packs. I'm hopeful that, they really ought to include some ready prepared meals as well, or maybe some break out your Tang, folks, right?
Yeah, actually that'll be cool, because if they put out more packs, what they could also do is some fictional missions too, and some missions where there were problems. That could also be exciting, like 13, or something like a fictional mission like Apollo 18, where the ASCENT engine doesn't fire at first and they got to figure out what to do, or whatever. But I mean, there's all kinds of really cool stuff. So anyway, big share. I'll be looking for this, and the minute it is for sale, I will be shoving them money as fast as I possibly can.
Yeah. Well, I know we have another game thing, but I think with this NASA moon missions game, I want to flip over really quick to a bit of news.
This is great. Yeah.
So many of you know about the film Hidden Figures. Perhaps you've seen that talks about the human computers, which were oftentimes women, African-American women, who did calculations that were crucial to the early moon missions, and the missions just in general at NASA.
Yeah, Mercury, Gemini, Apollo. Yeah. Pick one.
Yeah, pick it. Well, and there's so many to talk about that. Really, their history was not really advertised or well known up until the last 5 years, I'd say. And NASA did something this week where they announced that they're going to rename their headquarters. So tell us more about this, Graham.
Yeah, so the Mary W. Jackson NASA headquarters, this is really exciting. Mary is an incredible, female leader in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Of course, we know her very well, for those of us that work at IBM, because she used a lot of our early equipment, and she's just a brilliant individual, and was beautifully portrayed in the film. In fact, it's great. There's a sort of funny scene in the film where the IBMers are like bumbling, trying to get, I think it's a System 360 trying to go, and she just rolls in like a boss and uses it like a pro, and goes on to really, in many cases, save the day. So an incredible person, a wonderful honor, and this made my day when I saw it. I thought it was wonderful.
Well, and she overcame. I mean, one of the really interesting comments here. She's known for overcoming some of those barriers. Not just with segregation, but with gender bias, and became an aerospace engineer. So it wasn't just that she was working with the computers. It was a lot more than that. And that's one of my favorite moments from the film, not just because of the IBM linkage, but showing that interaction and showing that computers aren't a magic box that you just push a button and stuff comes out, right? It requires skill and really smart people to do something with that data.
Yeah.
Awesome. So this little box that you see here in the photo, I don't know what it is, but it reminds me of the next story, the item in the next story that we're going to talk about. So I'm going to flip back. This is your tweet. It reminded that just triggered. It reminded.
How did that remind you of this? But okay.
It had a screen, and it looked like it had a couple of pads on it. So.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. It's a stretch for sure. But #retro games. Tell me about this.
Yeah, so this is the Wolson Old Arcade. It's called. Oh my God, I'm dropping stuff all over my office. I love retro games. I love original Nintendo games. I used to have an awesome Game Boy. I
Yeah.
actually think I know where it is, and I'm hoping I can actually recover it at some point. But this, I mean, look, Contra. Hello, this is a Wolson Old Arcade. Cheap. You can get them on Amazon for like $20 or something like that. And it connects to a TV, does all kinds of cool things, but it's got 200 games built in, like Super Mario. And I mean, just ready. Here we go. Listen to that. Hold on. Let me get.
Love it. Love it.
Here we
You
go.
know
You're gonna love that.
You know what? There's something about magical about the MIDI music. Oh yeah, good lord. Yeah,
Anyway, so this has been my little passion this week.
yeah.
I've
Well,
got a
the MIDI.
Wolfen Old Arcade.
I
I've got
just,
an old Atari handheld. I got a Game Boy handheld. They're just a blast.
They
They're
are,
just fun
and
to play with.
the MIDI. I love the MIDI music. I mean,
Oh, I know.
so I have one of the the mini PlayStation consoles.
Yep.
What I like about it is there's not only does it just bring back the nostalgia in those games and the original controller that's attached, but I also found that there's some enterprising folks, let's say, that release USB keys that have entire libraries of games that you can,
No
you're
kidding.
not breaking the device, but it
Wow.
will literally just auto load off of the USB key, and it gives you the entire collection of fighting games or racing games or whatever you want from the original PlayStation. I think they may do this for other devices, but I have it for the PlayStation 1 mini console, and it's fabulous.
You want to talk about real old school? I've even got this old Radio Shack Volcano game. That was mine from when I was a kid. I rescued that from my parents' attic.
You know
But
what?
anyway, man, retro gaming is just a blast. Just a fun little distraction when you need one, right?
Oh yeah, I got something for you. This is amazing. Check this out. This is a little handheld. It looks like a Galaga stand-up console.
Oh, that's
Like,
cool. Do you mean exactly like this Pac-Man one?
but look, when you flip it on, I mean the screen resolution and the control, listen to that.
Love it.
Magical. So it's just like the real game, except really, really tiny.
Yep.
All righty.
Man.
Awesome.
I've got my little Pac-Man one here too.
I think I have a Pac-Man one laying around as well.
Sure, you do. Why?
Right.
How could you?
I know you're chomping at the bit to talk about something else.
This is a big moment. So
I'm throwing it right in here. You were teasing all week that you have some kind of mystery surprise thing, and all you would
it's a
show
mystery surprise. And I gave you a hint today on Twitter. I'm wearing a hint right now.
Okay.
But for my birthday, which was in April, my family bought me something, which meant the world to me. Something I've wanted for since you and I were in Las Vegas, actually, and it took a long time for it to get here.
Yeah.
But let me show you what it is. You ready for this?
Okay.
There it is.
Dude.
Bum, 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 ba-da. It smells like vibranium, but this is it's actually the metal one. It's not even.
That's amazing.
Yep, and it's got dude, I couldn't wait to show this to you. It's got the actual like proper straps in the back. So you will see soon. This is being mounted to the wall back here. I'm going to move all this stuff around so that on every single call I'm at for when we're at work, you'll see my shield in the background.
Well, as it should be, right? So this reminds me, you're right. That when we went to I think the last time we had we had a conference in Las Vegas. The last day, I think you and I and another colleague of ours went to what they call the Avengers Station, and they have it's like you're entering like a Shield complex.
Mm-hmm.
But in the gift shop, they had those, right?
So if you take a look at the photo I just sent you in Twitter and you share that, you will actually see the moment that I found this shield and went like geek crazy in the Shield Experience gift shop and was like, I must have this. But they wanted something stupid, like it was $800 or $900 that they wanted. It was ridiculous, but it's the exact same one. The Captain America Marvel 75th. There it is right there. And this thing, man, it is heavy.
Here
It
we
is
go.
there.
That's what we're talking about. This is in the gift
There it
shop at
is.
the Avengers station in Las Vegas, and you can hang out with all your Avengers buddies. Even though this is back when I'm going to take a qualm with how Marvel, when they originally rolled out the merchandise and the toys and everything for the first phase into the second phase of the films, there were very few references to like Black Widow in the toys or in any of the stuff. And this was one of the first locations that I actually saw her represented, I thought, in an appropriate way, which was cool.
Yeah, it was that was a lot of fun, and having this sucker is cool. And then what I bought is off of Etsy. I bought a 3D printed wall mount. So it's these three pieces that hold it, and it's painted to match the shield, and it'll hold it to the wall. And all I have to do is turn it if I want to take it down and use. That's it right there.
All right,
That's
I'm
it.
trying to replicate a dramatic Ken Burns effect with my mouse.
Bum 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 bum
So
bum.
awesome.
That's my secret, Cap. I'm always nerdy. All right, let's move on.
Always.
Anyway, I've been excited all week to share that with you, buddy.
Well, this is
Couldn't
the
wait.
perfect segue to something else. We wanted to talk about a couple of TV related things this week. And lo and behold, we talked on a previous episode about how, we love seeing what Josh Gad is doing with Reunited Apart and the table reads that have been done with like with Community, the comedy series and others, right? And what I found this week is Variety always puts out something
Actors
called
on
Actors on Actors. And two of the episodes that I saw, they're actually streaming, letting the actors talk to each other and interview each other from their homes. And there is a whole show with Paul Rudd interviewing Chris Evans, and it's got some really cool stuff in it.
I gotta watch that. I saw the one with Henry Cavill. I don't know how you say his name, and Patrick Stewart.
Oh yeah, that one was really great. I like that.
He's like, tell me about the
yeah
Schneider cut.
I'm excited about the Snyder cut. We haven't talked about that yet.
Oh yeah,
but,
man.
We should when we get more information closer to the time. But I really liked what he said about. He really thought that playing Superman was like not just an honor, but like a responsibility. And he hopes that he gets to do more. And I think all the fans are like clamoring for him to do more. And for
I am absolutely.
I think what it indicates is fans are really irritated when studios just do like a movie or two and decide to reboot the whole universe again.
Yeah,
it just seems. So anyhow, and shout out to Chris Evans is doing a limited series on Apple TV Plus called Defending Jacob, which is not a typical character for him. And then Paul Rudd is also doing something on Netflix called Living with Yourself. So the reason I give a shout out is because I'm constantly seeing during COVID, during work at home, during this time, everyone's sort of crunching through their queue and asking for new ideas. So these are a couple of initiatives coming out.
During COVID, your accent is coming out there, by the way.
Yeah, there we go.
Cool.
So wait 1 second. Look at this. So in the background here, there's another guy we'd recognize.
Oh.
Now, you were just telling me that you were watching this show.
Perry Mason.
I think you enjoyed it, right? So tell us more about Perry Mason.
I do. So I'm a big fan of the original Raymond Burr Perry Mason series. I used to watch it when I was a kid, obviously on reruns. I'm not that old, thank you very much. And it was I loved the show. So when I found out that HBO was doing a remake of it that looked very gritty and film noir and violent and all this stuff, I was excited. So I watched the first episode on Sunday night, I think. And I thought it was great. I know there's a lot of people that did not like it, but I think the problem is people want like immediate gratification. And the whole season is one crime, not one crime per episode, right? So it's not these quick hits where like the show used to be where there's a crime and Perry's in the courtroom and then blah, blah, blah. It's a whole season. And this first one is like it's really only a setup to what you're about to see, but it is gritty, it is violent. There's parts of it that are actually kind of tough to watch, to be honest with you. There's also almost a comical sex scene, quite frankly. I mean, it's just really, really good. But the gentleman, I'm sorry, I forget his name off the top of my head, that's playing Perry Mason is excellent. It reminds me very, very much of L.A. Confidential. So if you've ever seen that movie, which I'm a huge fan of, if you liked L.A. Confidential, I think you will like Perry Mason. I think you just need to remember that it's going to take a little while to deliver and get think about, it was, think about like the interrogation scene from LA Confidential. Like, we'll get there. But as a setup, I'm just really excited. And the production value and the cinematography of Perry Mason on HBO is gorgeous. So if you've got it, check it out and try to stick with it, because I think you'll really like it.
Well, and HBO just spent a little bit of time trying to re-explain their streaming strategy and what apps do what, and with the rollout of Max and whatnot. But the guy's name is Matthew, I guess, Rees. Is that how you pronounce it? R-H-Y-S?
He's excellent. And it's a very different Perry Mason. This is like this is a broken individual, and it's not the same thing. I mean, it's the same thing in name only, and in basic structure, but he's just a great character. So I want to encourage people to go ahead and check that out.
Well, I really like the format because I don't watch all of these live, of course. I don't think anybody necessarily does. Appointment television is kind of reserved for only a few things at this point, but I went back and watched some of the True Detective series.
Go on.
Same thing. Same thing.
No, I'm listening. Don't worry.
About like taking one crime in a slow burn through a whole season. And I love that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm listening.
Yeah.
No problem.
Get the one up.
Oh, I gotta get it. Oh, that's the good stuff.
So I want to show you something here.
Okay.
Laird TV. This makes me super duper excited for something.
Oh yeah.
Apparently, Michael Keaton might be getting back into the cow and the utility belt business.
Yes. So what I'm hearing is it's part of the Flash universe where I'm comic book fans. If I get this wrong, I mean, I'm sorry, but it's essentially something like the Flash goes so fast, he ends up in a different universe or something like that.
Yeah. That's what's happened.
Name for it.
They actually, I'm not a watcher of it, but I've become curious because the series that are Supergirl, the Flash, the Arrow, they all sort of came together for like a mini series, just like they would in the comic books, where they'd all team up and there'd be a big bad or a big event. And so they're dealing with the aftermath of that.
Yeah. And my understanding is Flash goes into this other universe and he encounters, I don't know if it's the Tim Burton universe entirely, but he goes into it's essentially Batman and Batman Returns so it's that character. And he encounters Michael Keaton as an older Batman, and it's more of like a mentor type thing. Right. I don't know how much we'll actually see Michael Keaton in action. I can't imagine they would deny us some level of that. Like, we're only going to see him for one quick second in some conversation. My understanding is it's a recurring role. So I think we actually will get the gratification we all seek. And I'm very excited about that. And my older sister, by the way, is like a Batman fanatic. She's got Batman tattoos, all this stuff. Everything she had, like her phone case, her car, everything is all Batman. And it goes all the way back to that film being released. And my sister's been a huge fan of Batman. So she's been through some stuff lately, as you know, my friend. We talked a little bit about it on the last episode. And this was a real ray of sunshine for her and made her happy again. And I was excited to see that. So I'm looking forward to experiencing, Batman again with my older sister. And that'll be really, really cool. Funny enough, my mother's calling me right now. And I it's weird. Like, she knew we were talking about the family or something. It's
maybe
really
she
weird.
wants to be on the show.
I don't know. No, she'll tell embarrassing stories about me. Anyway, what's next?
With Batman, the last thing I wanted to say there is that I've been, all of our families have been looking for new activities to do, besides just, get outside and get fresh air. But one of the things here in Raleigh is we have one of the oldest drive-ins in the country here, about 10 minutes north of us, and they were showing a double feature of Batman '89 and the original Superman this past weekend, because it's like the 30th anniversary of the Batman film, right? It's a little
that is super cool.
But that's really cool, and it just, the nostalgia factor. I hope to see this. I think it might get me interested in this series.
I think that's really cool, man.
Let's talk about comic books really quick. You had kind of a shout out.
So we don't have to spend a lot of time talking about this, but look, I grew up in the region where Turtles came from. Eastman and Laird had offices in my hometown. There's actually one of the episodes of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They actually drive through and show Northampton, Massachusetts. And my point is, like, somebody's got to pick this up and do it properly, right? Like the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was just kind of like I was saying about Perry Mason, right? It was gritty and violent. It was not cowabunga and pizza. It was not vans that look like toys.
Yeah.
And I mean, Casey Jones was kicking ass. April was a legit reporter,
right.
And it wasn't the cartoon and it wasn't the movies, which can be said there was value to that. And I was a huge fan. I was like super obsessed with the toys when I was kids. My friends still make fun of me for it. Right. And that's cool. But the thing is that I think that, and I think it should be animated, by the way. I don't necessarily think it should be live action because they don't translate well to live action, I think. But I'd like to see it done in almost like a Dark Knight kind of, like something violent, R-rated, right?
Well, like the original Laird book, Leeserman and Laird books, right? Because
like the original comics.
Most people don't understand.
Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and that's what they were like, man. Even the ones where they were like fighting the aliens and stuff, and all of that. I mean, they were crazy. And I just think we should go. I think it's high time somebody pick that up. God damn it.
So I got something for you.
Oh, there it is.
So this is what we're talking about, folks. And this is the color kind of book.
That's what we're talking about.
This is the original series. And it's not only is the art fantastic, like really fantastic, but it's gritty.
Fantastic.
And this is the guy, but most people don't know this, but like Kevin Eastman, I mean, he's the guy behind the Heavy Metal magazine. Like,
that's right.
It's hard stuff.
So I think every week we should have a rant section. That's my rant for the week. Is God damn it, I want somebody to do Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles properly.
I'll take it.
Okay. All right. That's my rant. That's Graham's rant.
Graham's rant. Hashtag Graham's rant. Okay, I don't have a rant, but I have this kind of neat. We haven't talked about history all that much, other than we've done it a little bit. We've done it a few times.
Oh.
Here's a really kind of, I'm just going to flash this up. There's not much to show, but
this belongs in a museum. Sorry, I had to
someone flashed this. I just randomly found this article this week, and because I live in North Carolina, and actually when I was in
Raleigh.
May, when I went down to the Outer Banks to hang out for just to disconnect from work for a week, I drove right past this area, but there's this it's folklore at this point. The lost colony at Roanoke, over 100 people, over 100 colonists just disappeared, and they literally for hundreds and hundreds of years they haven't been able to find evidence in a scientific, what happened to these people. Like, there's all these theories. And
I know. You want to hear my theory? My theory is they went through the gate.
Aliens.
They're in the 8th dimension. They're at that Walmart in the Chicago suburbs. They just don't know what a Walmart is, so they're still wandering around very confused. And let's be honest, if there was an ancient civilization who bubbled up in a Walmart, you wouldn't know the difference anyway. So anyway, that's my theory.
That seems
plausible,
reasonable, I guess.
Yes, that's science. Science is wow.
But there's been a new dig. There's been a dig going on, and not like for 10 years. And so they finally found maybe something. I don't really know all the details yet, but it's worth checking out. Wow. So there was something really interesting that you found about IBM this week. So kind of not really game related, but something called the Puzzle Master.
Oh yeah. I have so many questions. Can you bring up that picture? Because
Yeah.
my first question is, what's the deal with this guy's shirt and who let him have it? Because I'll tell you right now, my colleagues at the logo store, there's no way they approve this one. The
Yeah.
logo isn't sized correctly. The shirt is practically transparent. I have so many questions. Okay,
All
so I
right,
guess I
it's
have two
loading.
wins
Hang
this
on.
week. Jesus, I'm all fired up. What happened to me? I don't know.
It's Friday.
Look at that. Look, okay. Oh my God. Okay. First of all, wear a T-shirt underneath, sir. Second of all, what's with the logo, sir?
Well, hold on.
Iron your collar. Okay,
I've
I'm
got a
done.
theory. I've got a theory here. So there's a new puzzle master, and apparently there have been like 4 or 5 of these mathematicians in IBM research.
Let's see if I can do that face.
Job it is to challenge the minds of other IBM researchers to take a problem that they're struggling with and focus on a different problem to sort of enlighten themselves, to think outside the box, I guess, if you will. And it's amazing. But here's my theory. I wonder, this photo, I think this photo may be a puzzle challenge unto itself. There's something here. Maybe this is like,
that's bullshit. It's just a bad photo.
Well, it may be. But my point is, and that's okay. These are not marketers. However, my point is, I would like to think that because I love alternate reality games. I loved like what, 10 years ago, there was a lot of.
It is really cool. I'm just teasing him, but I think it's awesome. Yeah. And the fact that we have a puzzle master. All right, I want you to see if you can do your puzzle master pose. Can you?
Wait. What? Not good with cameras.
Okay, that was good enough.
All right, good.
Anyway, cool stuff. We have puzzle masters. I don't think either one of us knew that.
Well, I'm fascinated because, I do love math. I do love science and puzzles. Man.
Science, yes. Math.
Science. We'll see. But it's a fascinating post. And in order to pass on the mantle or the crown or whatever it is to the new puzzle master, they have to introduce a new challenge that they've been thinking about. And they post these challenges for everyone to see and to, explore for months at a time. Sometimes they take months at a time, right, to solve these things. So I think we blazed through our whole list.
Is that everything? Did we do everything? I think we did.
I only had one other thing that I thought was interesting, but it's not really. I don't know. I noticed a story about NVIDIA working with Mercedes, and it made me think about a lot of the work that we've done with Mercedes with R&D around engineering. And so there's been a lot of talk about are autonomous cars going to take off or not? Why aren't they here yet? And there's debate about whether they're a good idea in this new environment we're in. But Mercedes is always blazing a path forward, and they've got a car that's going to be completely managed by a new platform in partnership with NVIDIA, which it's just fascinating to see this stuff in action for me. And I just want to show you the picture of the car because
I want to see.
I was also geeking out about that.
Hello.
Because it looks like there's circuitry built into the hood, but I know that's probably that might just be the paint job.
Oh, is that being projected? Is that just?
Well, a lot of this.
No, I think that's actually on the car. I don't think that's being projected. I mean, it may just be like sticker kind of stuff.
What we've seen, like what I've seen at CES or at the Detroit Auto Show, like the prototypes they have are, whoa! It's like the Jetsons for real with, living in the future.
That was my Jetson sound.
Awesome. Well, look at this. This has been fun.
This has been fun. I finally got to show you my shield. I'm so happy.
Yeah, it is awesome. And I guess it's Stark approved or Stark issued, or how does that work?
Stark issued.
Yep.
It still smells like vibranium.
Vibranium, it's kind of hard to come by these days.
I know, and I got a lot of it sitting right back there. So, just saying.
All right.
Cool. Well, thanks, man. This has been fun.
Thanks for Weeks In. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next week on Weeks In.
Yeah, Weeks In. Weeks In. Having fun. Doing this. Quarantine.
Thank you, everybody. Peace.